The tunnel of light was so bright it looked like the inside of a star. Whis was moving faster than he had ever moved before. He was a beam of blue light shooting through the cosmos. Inside the protective energy cube, Goku was on his knees. He was holding Gohan. Gohan looked terrible. His skin was usually a healthy peach color, but now it was gray. It was the color of ash. His lips were purple. His breathing was very shallow. It sounded like a rattle in his chest. Every time he took a breath, his face twisted in pain. Goku held Gohan's hand. Gohan's hand was freezing cold. It felt like holding a piece of ice. Goku squeezed the hand. He was trying to give Gohan some of his warmth. He was trying to share his energy, but it was not working. Gohan's ki was leaking out. It was a strange, purple smoke that drifted off his body and disappeared into the floor of the cube. Goku looked at Whis. He begged Whis to go faster. He said his son was fading away. Whis did not look back. He kept his eyes on the path. He said they were already moving at maximum speed. If they went any faster, they would tear the fabric of reality. Whis explained that Gohan's condition was critical. The poison from the demon Hirudegan was not a normal poison. It was not something that attacked the blood or the organs. It was a spiritual poison. It attacked the soul. It was designed to break the bond between the body and the spirit. And because Gohan was half mortal and half divine in his energy, the poison was confused. It was causing a nuclear reaction inside Gohan's spirit. The two halves were fighting each other. If they did not stop it soon, Gohan would not just die. He would cease to exist. His soul would be erased from the book of life. He would not go to heaven. He would not go to hell. He would just be gone. Goku felt a tear roll down his cheek. He wiped it away angrily. He was a Super Saiyan. He was a god. He had fought destroyers and angels. But right now he felt helpless. He couldn't punch this enemy. He could not blast this enemy. He just had to wait. He looked down at Gohan's face. He remembered when Gohan was a baby. He remembered holding him in the woods. He remembered Gohan crying when he was scared. Gohan was always a gentle soul. He did not like to fight. He fought because he had to. He fought to protect people. And now, that desire to protect had cost him everything. Goku whispered to Gohan. He told him to hang on. He told him that Pan was waiting for him. He told him Videl was making dinner. He told him that he still had to finish his research paper. He tried to joke, but his voice cracked. Gohan did not answer. He just shivered. Suddenly, the tunnel of light ended. They popped out into a strange place. The sky was yellow. It was filled with golden clouds that looked like cotton candy. There were no stars, just a warm, endless glow. Below them, there was a long, winding road that looked like a snake. It went on forever, and floating above the clouds was a giant building. It looked like a traditional office building, but it was the size of a mountain. It had a red roof and giant wooden pillars. This was the check-in station for the afterlife. This was King Yema's palace. Whis did not land at the front door. He flew right over the line of souls waiting to be judged. There were thousands of little white clouds, each one carrying a ghost. The ghosts looked up as the cube flew over them. They were surprised. Usually, everyone had to wait in line. But Whis was an angel. He did not wait in lines. The cube phased through the wall of the palace. They appeared in the main office. King Yema was sitting at his giant mahogany desk. He was a huge ogre with red skin and a black beard. He was wearing a suit. He was stamping papers. Stamp, stamp, stamp. He was very busy. He was shouting at his assistants. He looked up when the cube appeared. He dropped his stamp. His jaw dropped. He saw Whis. He saw Goku. and he saw the dying Gohan. King Yema stood up. His chair fell over with a loud crash. He asked what was going on. He asked why they brought a living body to the world of the dead. That was against the rules. Living bodies were not allowed here. Whis floated Gohan's body out of the cube. He placed Gohan gently on Yema's desk, right on top of a stack of papers. Whis told Yema to be quiet. He said this was an emergency. He said they needed access to the Grand Kai's planet immediately. Yema looked at Gohan. He adjusted his glasses. He leaned in close. He sniffed Gohan. Yema had a good nose for souls. He smelled the demon poison. He recoiled. He covered his nose. He said it smelled like rotting garbage and old sulfur. He asked what happened. Goku explained quickly. He told Yema about the demon beast Hirudegan. He told him about the poison fire. Yema nodded. He looked serious. He said that was bad. Very bad. He said Hirudegan was a creature from the darkest pits of the ancient times. His poison was legendary. It was called soul rot. Yema looked at his book of life. He flipped the pages fast. He found Gohan's page. The name Son Gohan was flickering. It was fading in and out. Yema said they did not have much time. Maybe 1 hour. Maybe less. If the name disappeared from the book, Gohan was gone. Yema stamped a piece of paper. It was a golden pass. He handed it to Whis. He said this pass would let them use the special portal to the Grand Kai's world. He told them to hurry. He said he did not want a soul to be erased in his office. It was too much paperwork. Whis took the pass. He thanked Yema. He tapped his staff on the floor. A hole opened up in the floor. It was a swirl of rainbow colors. Whis grabbed Gohan with his magic. Goku jumped in. They fell through the hole. They left Yema's office behind. They fell through the dimensions. They passed the Hell Realm. They saw the red clouds and the spikes. They passed the Heaven Realm. They saw the flowers and the fields. They went deeper, to the core of the other world. They landed on a grassy planet. It was a beautiful planet. The grass was blue. The trees were pink. The sky was a bright electric green. There were boom boxes growing on the trees like fruit. The music was playing everywhere. It was rock and roll music. It was loud. In the middle of a field, there was a mansion. It looked like a 1950s diner mixed with a castle. There was a classic car parked in front, a white convertible with wings. Standing next to the car was an old man, but he didn't look like a normal Kai. He was wearing jeans, he had a denim jacket, he had cool sunglasses, he had a long white beard, but he had styled it to look cool. This was the Grand Kai, the ruler of all the Kais. He was waxing his car. He was bobbing his head to the music. The Grand Kai looked up when Whis and Goku landed. He took off his sunglasses. He smiled. He said, "Yo." He asked what brought the heavy hitters to his crib. He saw Goku. He gave Goku a high five. He said it had been a long time. Then he saw Gohan floating in Whis' magic bubble. The Grand Kai's smile vanished. He dropped his waxing cloth. He walked over to Gohan. He looked at the purple skin. He looked at the black veins spreading from Gohan's chest. The Grand Kai let out a low whistle. He said this was heavy. This was not cool. He asked if this was Hirudegan's work. Goku nodded. He begged the Grand Kai to help. He said Whis told them that the Grand Kai was the expert on spirits. The Grand Kai nodded. He said he was the expert. He knew everything about souls. He motioned for them to follow him. They walked into the mansion. The inside was filled with vinyl records and guitars. They went into a back room. It looked like a laboratory. There was a glowing table in the center. The Grand Kai told Whis to put Gohan on the table. Gohan was laid down. The Grand Kai placed his hands over Gohan's chest. His hands glowed with a white light. He closed his eyes. He hummed a soft tune. He was scanning Gohan's spirit. After a minute, he opened his eyes. He looked grim. He said it was worse than he thought. He explained the problem simply, so Goku could understand. He said Gohan's soul was like a smoothie. It was a mix of human, Saiyan, and Kai energy. Usually, that mix was blended perfectly, but the poison was like lemon juice in milk. It was making the mixture curdle. It was separating the parts. The Kai energy was trying to go up to heaven. The Saiyan energy was trying to fight. The human energy was scared, and the poison was in the middle, pushing them all apart. If they separated completely, the explosion would wipe out this entire planet. Goku gasped. He asked what the cure was. The Grand Kai said there was no medicine. There was no bean. There was only a purge. The spirit purge. It was a dangerous ritual. The Grand Kai said he could use his magic to hold Gohan's body together on the outside. But Gohan would have to fight the poison on the inside. He would have to go into his own mind. He would have to find the source of the corruption and destroy it. But because the poison was smart, it would not look like a monster. It would look like Gohan. It would be a shadow Gohan. A version of Gohan made of all his fears and failures. If Gohan lost to the shadow would take over his body, and the real Gohan would die. Goku looked at his son. He knew Gohan was strong, but Gohan was also gentle. He had doubts. He worried about being a good father. He worried about being strong enough. The shadow would use all of that against him. The Grand Kai asked if they wanted to proceed. It was the only way. Goku touched Gohan's forehead. He felt the cold sweat. He whispered, "You can do this, son." He nodded to the Grand Kai. The Grand Kai cracked his knuckles. He put on a new pair of sunglasses. He said, "Let's rock and roll." He pressed a button on the table. A dome of energy covered Gohan. Wires made of light connected to Gohan's head. The Grand Kai began to chant. The room filled with a humming sound. The ritual had begun. Inside Gohan's mind, there was darkness. Then, slowly, a world formed. It was a ruined city. It looked like West City, but it was destroyed. The buildings were broken. The sky was burning. It was raining. But the rain was black oil. Gohan stood in the middle of the street. He looked at his hands. They were normal. He was wearing his purple gi. He felt heavy. He felt sad. He looked around. He called out for Pan. He called out for Videl. No one answered. Just the sound of the black rain hitting the pavement. Then he heard a footstep behind him. He spun around. Standing there was another Gohan. But this Gohan was different. His skin was grey. His eyes were black with red pupils. He was wearing the same gi, but it was tattered and stained with blood. He was smiling. It was a cruel smile. Shadow Gohan spoke. His voice sounded like Gohan's voice, but deeper and distorted. He said, "Welcome home, failure." Gohan stepped back. He asked who he was. The shadow laughed. He walked forward. He said he was the truth. He was the part of Gohan that knew he wasn't good enough. He was the fear that Gohan would let everyone down. The shadow pointed at the ruined city. He said, "This is your future. You think you are a god. You think you are a divine beast. You are just a scared little boy who cries for his daddy." Gohan clenched his fists. He said that wasn't true. He said he fought to protect. The shadow shook his head. He said Gohan fought because he was afraid of being weak. He said Gohan abandoned his training for years. He let himself get weak. And because of that, Frieza came back. Cell came back. Everyone was in danger because Gohan was lazy. The words hurt. They hit Gohan like physical punches. Because deep down, Gohan had thought these things before. The shadow charged. He didn't use energy blasts. He used his fists. He punched Gohan in the face. Gohan flew back and hit a broken bus. Gohan stood up. He tried to turn Super Saiyan, but he couldn't. His energy felt blocked. The shadow laughed. He said, "You can't use the light here. This is my world. Here, you are just a mortal." The shadow kicked Gohan in the stomach. Gohan coughed. He fell to his knees. The shadow grabbed Gohan by the hair. He slammed Gohan's face into the ground. He whispered, "Just give up. Let me take the wheel. I won't hesitate. I won't show mercy. I will be the perfect warrior." Gohan struggled. He tried to find his strength. He thought of Pan. He thought of her smile. The shadow sensed the thought. He sneered. "Pan, you think you can save her? You couldn't even save yourself from a little smoke." The shadow stomped on Gohan's hand. Gohan yelled in pain. This was going to be the hardest fight of his life. Not because the enemy was strong, but because the enemy was him. Meanwhile, outside on the Grand Kai's planet, things were getting tense. The Grand Kai was sweating. He was pouring his magic into the table. He told Goku that the resistance was strong. The poison was fighting back. It was trying to reject the purge. Goku paced back and forth. He couldn't sit still. He wanted to jump in and help, but Whis told him to stay back. If Goku interfered, he might accidentally shatter Gohan's mind. But while they were focused on Gohan, something else was happening in the other world. The process of purging the poison involved extracting the negative energy from Gohan and sending it somewhere else. Usually, the Grand Kai's palace had a machine for this. It was a giant tank called the Spirit Laundry Machine. It was where all the bad vibes from souls were washed away. The negative energy from Gohan's purge was being piped into this tank. But Gohan's negative energy was not normal. It was dense. It was heavy. It was the concentrated evil of an ancient demon mixed with the doubts of a demigod. The tank began to shake. The gauge on the tank went into the red zone. The needle broke. Steam started to shoot out of the bolts. A young ogre boy named Psyche was in charge of the machine. He was wearing headphones. He was listening to loud music. He was dancing. He did not hear the alarm. He did not see the warning lights. The tank was overfilling. The black sludge inside was bubbling. It was expanding. Crack. A small fracture appeared on the glass of the tank. Then another. Then another. Suddenly, the tank exploded. Boom! The explosion blew the roof off the laundry building. A massive cloud of purple and black smoke rolled out. It covered the young ogre boy. The smoke did not dissipate. It swirled. It condensed. It wrapped around the boy. The boy screamed, but his voice changed. It became deep and gargled. The smoke hardened. It turned into a large, yellow, fat creature. It looked like a giant baby, but evil. It had purple armor on its shoulders. It had big holes in its belly. It had a long tail. This was Janemba, the incarnation of pure evil energy. He stood in the wreckage of the laundry room. He looked at his hands. He clapped. He laughed. Janemba. Janemba. When he said his name, the reality around him warped. The ground turned into jelly beans. The sky turned into colorful glass shards. Floating rocks turned into bubbles. Janemba had the power to change reality just by existing. He was a being of chaos, and he was born from the poison that was killing Gohan. Janemba looked up. He sensed something delicious. He sensed the Grand Kai's planet. He sensed the powerful energy over there. He wanted to play. He wanted to destroy. He waved his hand. A portal opened in the air. But it was not a normal portal. It looked like a hole made of Lego blocks. Janemba jumped through it. Back on the Grand Kai's planet, the sky suddenly changed. The electric green sky shattered like a mirror. Pieces of the sky fell down. In their place, a swirling vortex of colors appeared. Goku looked up. He sensed a massive ki. It felt evil, but also childish. It felt chaotic. A giant yellow foot stepped out of the sky. Then the rest of the fat yellow monster fell down. Janemba landed in the front yard of the mansion. He crushed the Grand Kai's car. The beautiful white convertible was flattened into a pancake. The Grand Kai screamed, "My ride! That was a classic!" He lost his concentration for a second. The dome over Gohan flickered. Gohan groaned in pain. The Grand Kai quickly focused back on Gohan. He shouted at Goku, "Goku, keep that thing away from the mansion. If it touches the ritual table, Gohan is toast." Goku nodded. He turned to face the monster. He walked outside. He looked at Janemba. He had never seen this creature before. Janemba was picking up a piece of the car and eating it. He chewed on the metal and swallowed it. He burped. A small energy blast came out of his mouth with the burp. It hit a tree and turned the tree into a giant lollipop. Goku looked confused. "Hey, who are you?" Goku shouted. Janemba looked at Goku. He smiled a goofy smile. He clapped his hands. "Janemba." He waved his hand. A mini version of Goku appeared in his hand. Janemba squeezed the mini Goku. The real Goku felt a squeezing pressure on his body. "Whoa!" Goku fled his ki. He broke the invisible grip. He realized this guy was dangerous. This was not just a brute. This was a magic user. Goku didn't waste time. He transformed. His hair turned yellow. Super Saiyan. He flew at Janemba. He punched Janemba in the big yellow belly. His fist sank into the fat. It was like punching dough. Janemba giggled. He grabbed Goku's arm. His arm stretched like rubber. He spun Goku around and threw him. Goku flew through the air. He corrected himself. He fired a Kamehameha. Ha! The blue beam shot towards Janemba. Janemba didn't dodge. He opened a hole in the air right in front of him. The Kamehameha went into the hole. Then another hole opened right behind Goku. The Kamehameha came out of that hole. It hit Goku in the back. Boom! Goku was blasted by his own attack. He crashed into the blue grass. He stood up, smoking. His gi was scorched. "Okay," Goku said. "That's a neat trick." Goku decided to step it up. He screamed. His hair grew longer. His eyebrows disappeared. Lightning crackled. Super Saiyan 3. The ground shook. The power was immense. Goku flew at Janemba again. He was faster now. He punched Janemba in the face. This time it hurt. Janemba stumbled back. Goku followed up with a kick to the chin. Janemba flew up. Goku teleported above him. He sledgehammered him down. Janemba hit the ground hard. But Janemba didn't stay down. He dissolved into small blocks. The blocks rearranged themselves. He reappeared behind Goku. He punched Goku. His fist had created a portal, so his arm stretched through space and hit Goku from a weird angle. Goku was getting hit from everywhere. Left, right, up, down. Janemba was unpredictable. Back inside Gohan's mind, the fight was going badly. Gohan was lying on the ground. The shadow Gohan was standing over him. The shadow had a sword made of black energy. He was about to strike. Gohan was bleeding. He was tired. He felt like giving up. The shadow raised the sword. "Goodbye, Gohan." It was a pathetic life. Gohan looked at the black sword. He saw his reflection in it. He saw his tired eyes. But then he saw something else. He saw the color of the sword. It was black, but deep inside there was a purple light. It was his energy. This shadow was made of his energy. If Gohan created it, Gohan could control it. The Grand Kai said this was a purge. But maybe it wasn't about destroying the shadow. You can't destroy a shadow. A shadow exists because there is light. If you make the light brighter, the shadow gets sharper. But if you surround the shadow with light, it disappears. Gohan realized his mistake. He had been trying to fight the darkness with anger. He had been trying to push it away. But the darkness was part of him. It was his fear. It was his doubt. You don't fight fear with punches. You fight fear with acceptance. You acknowledge it, and then you move past it. Gohan stood up. He didn't raise his fists. He opened his arms. The shadow looked confused. He paused. "What are you doing? Begging for mercy?" Gohan shook his head. "No, I am accepting you." Gohan walked towards the shadow. The shadow swung the sword. Gohan didn't dodge. The sword hit Gohan's chest, but it didn't cut him. It absorbed into him. Gohan hugged the shadow. The shadow screamed. "Let go of me. I am your end," Gohan whispered. "No, you are my doubt, and I accept that I have doubts. I accept that I am scared, but I will not let that stop me. I am Gohan. I am a father. I am a warrior, and I am whole." A bright white light exploded from Gohan's chest. It was the light of his soul. It was pure. It wrapped around the shadow. The shadow struggled, then it began to melt. It turned from grey to purple, then to white. It flowed into Gohan. Gohan absorbed his own darkness. He purified it with his resolve. The ruined city around him began to heal. The black rain stopped. The sun came out. Gohan took a deep breath. He felt light. He felt strong. The poison was gone. It was just fuel now. Outside, on the table, Gohan's body stopped shaking. The black veins on his chest faded away. His skin turned back to peach. The Grand Kai smiled. He did it. That crazy kid did it. But just as he said that, the wall of the mansion exploded. Janemba had transformed. He was no longer the fat yellow baby. Goku's Super Saiyan 3 had pushed him too far. Janemba had compressed his energy. He was now smaller. He was human-sized. He had red skin and purple armor. He had horns. He looked sleek and demonic. And he was holding a sword made of dimension shards. He was Super Janemba. Goku was lying on the lawn, defeated. He had run out of stamina. Super Saiyan 3 drained too much energy in the afterlife. He was back in his base form. He couldn't move. Super Janemba stood over the Grand Kai and the sleeping Gohan. Janemba raised his dimension sword. He was going to slice Gohan in half while he slept. The Grand Kai tried to put up a barrier, but Janemba shattered it with one look. The sword came down. It was inches away from Gohan's neck. Clang! A sound of metal hitting metal rang out. The sword stopped. Janemba looked surprised. He looked down. A hand had caught the blade. It was Gohan's hand. Gohan's eyes were open. They were not black. They were not silver. They were a deep, calm, mystic black. But there was a pink tint in the pupils. Gohan sat up. He pushed the sword away. He stood up off the table. He looked at Janemba. He didn't say a word. He just looked at him. The pressure coming off Gohan was different now. It wasn't the volatile, explosive power of the divine beast from before. It was silent. It was deep. It felt like the ocean at night. Gohan looked at Goku outside. He saw his father hurt. He looked at the destroyed car. He looked at the Grand Kai. He bowed slightly to the Grand Kai. "Thank you for the help." Then he turned back to Janemba. Janemba hissed. He swung his sword again. A wave of purple energy slashed towards Gohan. The wave cut through reality, leaving a black trail. Gohan raised his hand. He flicked his finger. The air pressure from the flick hit the energy wave. The wave shattered like glass. Janemba stepped back. He had never seen power like this. Gohan walked forward. He walked through the hole in the wall. He stepped onto the blue grass. He looked at Janemba. You are made of the same poison that was inside me. I know you. Janemba roared. He teleported. He appeared behind Gohan. He swung the sword at Gohan's head. Gohan didn't turn around. He ducked. The sword missed. Gohan elbowed Janemba in the gut. Janemba gasped. He flew back, crashing through 3 trees. He got up, angry. He disassembled his body into blocks again. He swirled around Gohan, trying to confuse him. Gohan closed his eyes. He didn't need to see. He felt the disturbance in the space. He knew where the blocks were going to reform. Gohan punched the empty air to his right. Just as he punched, Janemba reformed exactly there. Gohan's fist hit Janemba's face perfectly. Janemba spun in the air. Gohan kicked him. Janemba hit the ground. Goku watched from the ground. His eyes were wide. Gohan, his energy. It's completely balanced. The mortal and the divine. They aren't fighting anymore. They are dancing. Gohan powered up. The white aura appeared. Then the pink aura rose up from beneath it. The 2 auras merged. They became a solid, radiant magenta light. No flickering, no leaking. Perfect control. Gohan looked at Janemba. You are a mistake, Gohan said. And I am here to correct it. Janemba screamed. He gathered all his chaotic energy into a massive ball of destruction. He fired it at Gohan. Gohan cupped his hands. Came. The blue light formed in his hands, but it was streaked with pink lightning. Haim. The ball grew huge. Ha! The divine Kamehameha fired. It was a beam of absolute purity. It hit Janemba's attack. It ate through it. It hit Janemba. The demon screamed as the light enveloped him. But Gohan didn't want to kill the soul. He wanted to cleanse it. The beam stripped away the evil purple armor. It stripped away the red skin. It washed away the hate. When the light faded, Janemba was gone. Standing in his place was the young ogre boy, Psyche. He was blinking. He looked confused. He checked his headphones. The music was still playing. He had no idea what had happened. He looked at Gohan. He saw the glowing warrior. He ran away screaming. Gohan powered down. The pink light faded. He took a deep breath. He felt good. He felt stable. He walked over to Goku. He offered his hand. Goku took it. Gohan pulled his dad up. You okay, Dad? Gohan asked. Goku laughed. He patted Gohan on the back. I'm fine, but you... Wow, you really are something else, Gohan. I think you might have just surpassed me for real this time. Gohan smiled. I had a good teacher. Whis floated down. He clapped slowly. Bravo. A magnificent display of spirit control. You have not only survived the poison, Gohan, but you have assimilated it. Your divine beast form is now permanent. It is no longer a transformation that drains you. It is part of your base state. The Grand Kai ran out. He looked at his crushed car. He cried, my baby, my sweet ride. He looked at Gohan. Kid, you owe me a new car. A fast one. Gohan scratched the back of his head. He laughed nervously. I'll ask Bulma. Whis looked at his staff. We should return. King Yemma will be very upset about the paperwork caused by the laundry explosion. It is best if we are not here when he starts yelling. They gathered together. Whis tapped his staff. The cube formed around them. They shot up into the sky, leaving the Grand Kai's planet behind. As they traveled back through the tunnel of light, Gohan looked at his hands. He felt a new sense of purpose. He had conquered his inner demons. He had conquered the outer demons. He was ready for whatever came next. But the universe is vast, and while Gohan was busy in the other world, the timeline continued to move. In the depths of space, a signal was received. A signal from a dead army. The Frieza Force remnants had found something, or rather, someone. On a distant planet, A pod opened. Inside, a small grey alien with big eyes woke up. He was a sorbet. He looked at the screen. He saw the data from Earth. He saw the energy readings of the divine beast. He shivered. "We cannot fight this," he said. "We need the Master back. We need Lord Frieza." "But Lord Frieza is in hell," a soldier said. Sorbet smiled. "Yes, but the Earth has Dragon Balls, and with the recent disruption in the spirit world caused by that Janemba incident, the gates of hell are loose. It is the perfect time for a heist." The ship set a course for Earth. They were coming for the Dragon Balls, and they were coming to bring back the Emperor of the Universe. But this time, Frieza would not make the same mistake. If he came back, he would need to train. He would need to reach a level beyond gold. He would need to reach black. The screen fades to black as the Frieza Force ship enters hyperspace. The ultimate evil is about to return. The resurrection begins in the next episode.